you want to introduce yourself?
Yeah. Hi, Bethany. I'm the press manager on the Vans Warped Tour.
How long have you been in the music business?
Oh, I've been in here for, dating myself now, about 2004.
And how did you get to where you are today?
I was doing audio, and I basically jumped on helping with the Kevin Said stage doing audio, and basically at the right place at the right time, and Kevin just happened to have an opening, and I guess I fit it.
What exactly does your job entail?
My job entails, basically, I am the matchmaker of the tour. I basically help bands and press find each other. Sometimes press doesn't know they want to talk to certain bands because they haven't heard of them yet. If they want to talk to All Time Low, I'll have them talk to another band that sounds like All Time Low as well. It's very important that we have basically have the larger bands as a vehicle to help the smaller upcoming bands. I also try to have all the bands, crew, everybody meet each other. Sometimes people are on the same tour for half the tour and have never met each other, even though they have literally come to the same places every day, like catering, press, and out and about. And it's very interesting. But so that's what I do.
So did you get any training for this, or did you just learn from experience?
To be honest, I learned from experience. The most actual publicist or press training I actually ever had was from a gentleman named Jeremy from Shiny Toy Guns. I learned like my digital strategy first and foremost from him. So I owe that part to him, and actually being his and the band's like on-site press person and coordinating times and stuff during that time.
How did you get to be a sound person first?
Well, I decided I was in a punk band. I was really bad. It was just a very bad band. But at being that we learned how to do a lot of things ourselves, promote our shows. For us to play, we had to bring on other bands from around the country for us to go out somewhere else to play. So it made us learn how to promote, how to do sound, how to bring a PA system, you know. It just pretty much all those things, what it took to be in a show. After that, I was like, well, I love the live show. I love bands. I wanted to see how to record that. So I went to school for studio recording, but I fell in love with live. I needed to have that time restriction, to be honest. So at that point, I was doing a lot of sound work. Mostly out of Nashville, and people just started thinking I was a stage manager because I was a girl. At that time, even a few years ago, girls were not sound people. That's beginning to completely change now. But then everybody would ask me questions, and I'm like, okay, well, I'll answer them. So I started doing stage teching and stage managing. And then stage managing, stage teching, and production managing. So it just...
One thing led to another.
Absolutely. All it is really knowing how to coordinate and troubleshoot. And then very specifics within each one of those.
How do you gain different contacts in the business?
To be honest, that is... I've done cold calls, cold emails, tried to look on LinkedIn, see who knows people that I know. I volunteer. I did a lot of volunteering for a long period of time. I literally would call festivals and go, hey, I will work for you for free. I know though at the end you will pay me. I know I like some. Okay, some did. Some didn't. But the thing is I got a lot of contacts out of that. People did realize how much experience I was getting out of that. I was very useful. And so I just kept on going. Even this year I did Coachella. First thing I did was I figured out what there was a need. The first year they did press on their own, and I was like, okay. I literally cold emailed them. They got back to me within like the first day. So it's still about, honestly, even at my where I'm at and the stage of the game, I'm still putting myself out there and saying, hey, this is me. You may not know me, but let's see what I can do for you.
Yes. What are key things that help you be successful at your job, like personality traits or anything like that?
Being flexible.
Yeah.
Being very flexible, letting things roll off your back when something happens or somebody is very short with you. Just understand it is production. Everybody's trying to get a job done. Understanding that things don't always go the way you planned it. So you just kind of go, well, that plan A out the window.
Yeah.
Also knowing that you're putting public and people safety first.
Yeah.
That is huge. You know, even if there is a financial risk at stake, always put safety and safety first.
Yeah.
And that to me is always putting the people first is always a main goal, and you always have to think that way if you're in an industry where you have people's lives for 5 minutes or for 5 days or for a year, whatever it is. Just you have to really think about the overall good of each and every person, and also the overall good of everybody involved.
What is the favorite part of your job?
My favorite part of my job. My favorite part of my job is in this job is basically getting hugs and high fives every day. To be honest, that is honestly my favorite part of the job. And also seeing it when I get to introduce people to other people, they're like, man, that was the first time I ever heard of them, they were awesome. And then hearing later on that like kept in contact with them, and you know, it's really just cool. That to me, I love seeing connections be made. You know, a lot of people feel alone on this planet. It's cool to help people not feel so alone.
Yeah. Last question is like a weird one. Would you rather always lose or never play?
Wait, say that again?
Would you rather always lose or never play?
Ooh, that is probably one of the best questions I've heard in a while. I'm a rehearsal person. I'm very much a practice person. I can honestly say that I'm not a gamer. I'm gonna go on the stage sort of person. But I love to rehearse. So I'd probably say I wouldn't mind always losing. I think so, as long as I'm with gracious winners, yeah, and ones that aren't just gonna keep on kicking me. I think I would be okay with that, because I think I would learn with each experience. And as much as something is a failure, maybe considered a failure, if you learn from each failure, you're really never fully losing.
Yeah. Well, thank you for your time. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thanks.
That's a great question.
Yeah.